This is Top Preps Player Interviews by Sunil Sunder. Tonight, I'm happy to be speaking with Ryder Zuniga, eighth grader at St. Clair's Catholic School in Palm Beach County, Florida, and a wide receiver and defensive back on the St. Clair Saints football team and WCFL Ravens in the Western Communities Football League. Once again, Ryder, thank you so much for the opportunity and taking time out to speak with me tonight. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Hey, congrats on your success on the football field here, Ryder. Could you talk about, it said first, playing for the St. Clair Saints football team, and then, of course, the WCFL Ravens. It said the Saints to Catholic School Athletic League Championship in flag football, scoring 4 touchdowns. It said, I'm sure, it said, having, that type of success on the football team and, it's got to bring, it said it's got to be very rewarding for you. Can you talk about it, Ryder?
Yeah, it is. It just helps motivate myself to do better every time I play. So one game I do this, the next game I'm gonna do more.
Yeah. Hey, the fact that you're able to produce, again, all over the field, but just like, in terms of the scoring the touchdowns, talk about that, again, just in terms of your, vision of the field and just, being able to, elude, said defensive players and, said, break into the end zone. I mean, again, there's a lot of hard work that goes into it. It said a lot of reps, just in terms of having that skill set. I said that doesn't come overnight, but again, you've been able to master that and, dominate on the field.
Well, I watch a lot of football and I like to point out what people do wrong. So as I'm thinking about that, it translates during the game. So like if I see like even like the smallest hole, it might turn out into be a bigger hole because I've seen how a lot of football plays out.
Mm-hmm. Hey, and you've played tackle football for the last 3 years. It said, I know that your dad did a great job providing some of the background info. The Palm Beach Gardens Gators, 2 years with the Saints and the Ravens in the Western Communities Football League, where you were selected as a two-time All-Star. I mean, that is, outstanding. Again, to see you, receive those accolades. Talk about your experiences in those leagues.
Well, my first league at Gators, I got like no touches, and I was one of those minimum play players, and
Mm-hmm.
it was not. I didn't like it. So once the season was over, I took that time. I took that anger that I had from the season, and I worked the whole summer, and it translated to tackle for my second year at Saints, and I got touches like I should have in that
Mm-hmm.
league, which is why I moved. And I didn't do so well like you would think, and I ended up only having 1 touchdown that season. And from seeing my progress from being a minimum touch player to being a starting running back at WCFL,
Mm-hmm.
it helped me to like motivate myself to do better the next season. And
Yep.
it proved this season with going from 1 touchdown to having 22 touchdowns in the regular season.
Yeah, excellent point you made. I think, just to overcome those obstacles, those challenges, that's not easy to do. Again, at such a young age, but the fact that you were able to rise above and, again, produce in this, fashion where you're, currently in the a competitive race for the MVP. And as you said, 22 touchdowns over a 9-game span. It said during the regular season, you were able every week, every single week, you were able to score. And the fact that I think what's so impressive, Ryder, that you scored in multiple ways: 7 receiving touchdowns, 7 rushing, 4 kick returns for TDs, 2 passing, 1 interception return for a TD, 1 fumble for a TD. The fact that you're so versatile and you could really impact the game in so many ways, so many facets. Talk about that. The fact that you could, basically you're spread out all around the field and the coaches really can tap into your talent level.
Well, I do my best to be a versatile player because I like to say I'm a weapon. Put me
Mhm.
anywhere and I'll do anything. and I'm
Yeah.
gonna make something happen out of it.
Yeah. On the flip side, you led your team in defense. Talk about, on the defensive side of the ball, the fact that, it said you were a leader on the team, and it definitely showed in that, department in terms of the tackles, just in terms of your attention to detail, the way that, working alongside with your teammates. Describe that, Ryder.
Well, a lot of defensive people would say like, "Oh, I wouldn't want him on defense because of my size," but
Mhm.
I show up every time in a play. You hear a loud crack, you're not gonna think it's gonna be me, but
Mhm.
when it when you go over to look, you're gonna see that I'm the one who made the play.
Yeah, no, definitely. And again, wide receiver, the fact that you're a defensive back, but I wanted to, mention as well, play quarterback, running back, safety, kicker. I mean, it's just, again, it's terrific that again, the number of multiple positions that you play, I'm sure getting this experience, getting those reps is so beneficial for you, Ryder.
Yeah, it's very beneficial because if a team is missing a player, like say he gets hurt, I could easily step in because I know what I'm doing.
Yeah. Hey, again, your team finished third place this season, lost in the semis. Talk about the journey this year. Again, playing, as said, for the St. Clair Saints football team, WCFL Ravens. I'm sure that those are moments that you're going to cherish, forever here, Ryder.
Yeah, it is, and it was a hard journey because I know I worked every step of the way to get where I am now.
Hmm. Hey, let's talk about your list of accomplishments, and they are vast. And again, uh, sure, again, very fulfilling for you. Let me, rattle them off. Wide receiver hit list has you listed as the number one receiver in the nation for the class of 2028. Prep Zone, Red Zone, next in players to watch. RNR Media Top 100. The 2023 Team Florida selection, the future Stars Games, excuse me. 2023 HXGN, the show selection, Team Blast runner-up Platinum Division. You also are a 2023 Dream All-American invite at AT&T Stadium coming up in Arlington, Texas, January 12th through the 15th, 2024, and the 2023 12U MVP Paul Beach Elite 7-on-7. Those list of accomplishments, what comes to your mind? The fact that, again, at an early age here, and I'm sure that's something, bucket list item to be that, invited to that Dream All American Bowl, said at AT&T Stadium. Just talk about what comes to your mind here, Ryder.
Um, a lot comes to my mind. Like it just feels really good to have all that stuff, but I can't just go based off of that feeling. I have to keep working and showing why I deserve to have those
Yeah.
invitations and write-ups.
Yeah, no, definitely. Hey, you've also, I mean, as you know, football has become 24/7, 365. I mean, it's like you can't take a day off if you really, want to be the best and you want to excel in this game. Talk about attending showcase camps in the summertime. I'm sure that, again, has been something that you've been keying in on, just in terms of building up your skill set. Just again, I how is that, again, I'm sure it's been very motivational for you as well, going up against the best talent across this nation. Describe that as well, Ryder.
It's been very beneficial for me because it shows me like the top talent where I need to get and what I'm lacking in. And
Mhm.
whenever I go against those better people, it shows me where I need to work on. And then after that, that's where I focus.
Yeah, no, I agree. Hey, and I'm sure you can't forget about the coaching staff on the teams that you played. Talk about that because, again, in terms of having that structure, having that cohesiveness, and they're the ones who call out the plays, and the fact that you got to translate to that, to the playing field. Uh, just I'm sure that support has been immense for you. Talk about that, Ryder.
Yeah, my coaches have been very supportive of me, and there's been some bad coaches that I've had, but I've never let it stop me. And it a lot of my coaches that I know and I trust, they like to stick with me because they know that they can trust me, and I listen to them very well.
That's great. That's great news to hear. There's so much that goes into training for, as you said, it's really, again, there's so much work that goes on behind the scenes, in terms of strength and conditioning, nutrition, rest and recovery. It's just not a physical game, it's also mental. And you have to be really locked in terms of, playing this sport. What have you done per se that has really, again, aided you and led you to this point again where the success is translated to the field as well?
Well, I've done very good about taking care of my body, like even the small, like minor things that that might affect my game just a little bit. I make sure that I take care of it, so I play the best every time.
That's wonderful to hear. And I have to go back, to when you were a seventh grader. This great stat. I mean, you ran a 4.9 in the 40-yard dash, but this is the best. Your teammates nicknamed you the White Cheetah. So I had to ask you about that, Ryder. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, they nicknamed me that because they said, you know, since I was really fast, they were like, "Oh, you're like the next Tyreek Hill," and
Yeah,
Tyreek Hill's a cheetah, so like,
yeah.
oh, let's just call you the White Cheetah.
That's great. That's awesome to hear. Hey, you're just, you haven't played football just per se, but you also, when you were younger, 5 years old, you played travel soccer. It said team was ranked number 4 in the country at one point, but then, COVID-19 pandemic hit and, shut the league down. That must have been tough for you because the fact that, you're playing here on a great team, team that's, again, enjoying uh, unbelievable success and just one of the best teams in the country, and then it just gets taken away. Just talk about how that personal experience. I'm sure that's something like you still embrace, but like the fact that it did stop at that point. Talk about that, Ryder.
Well, once it stopped, there was really no more soccer that I could do at that time, and the
Hmm.
most like I could do was find like a couple of small football leagues open, and then
Hmm.
I started liking football more and more, and
Yeah.
after that, I just like fully stopped playing soccer and translated all my focus to football.
Yeah, it's fantastic to hear. As you know, it's just not being an athlete, it's being a student athlete, and you've been able to flourish in the classroom. 3.4 GPA, named to the honor roll multiple times. Talk about the time management and organization because it's not easy for an athlete, especially a football player. You have the practices, you have the games. It's just there's so much that again, the commitment. It said the dedication to the sport, but you've been able to balance that out. How has it worked so effectively for you here at Ryder?
It's I worked effectively with it because the being in the classroom has really helped me to help like my mind calm down, get some stress
Mhm.
off. Like if I lost a game, being in the classroom, just focusing on my work took my mind off of it. And time managing my homework, I'd always like make sure I got it done before the next day, no matter how much football I had that day.
Yeah, it's excellent to hear. I think, again, just the fact that you're so studious and just, again, meticulous about it, because I think, for not a lot of people can really handle the rigors of, said both academics and athletics at the same time. Hey, let's go to St. Clair's, said Catholic, school, just in terms of the support, administration, athletics. Just describe, that. I mean, I'm sure that that's something that you definitely lean on as well, Ryder.
In my school, they really support me in sports. Like they're always asking me like, "Oh, you should like try out for this team because we could really use someone like as an athlete like you." And it
Hmm.
just like helps the confidence knowing like they know like how good I am, and yeah.
Yeah, it's super to hear. Hey, I know you need it. you said family, and that's important to you, just in terms of having that structure, having that backing. I said you have your mom and dad, you have your little sister Avery and brother Striker. Your dad is an attorney and football coach, and your mom is a personal trainer. I feel like that's the best of both worlds. The fact that you can relate so well, like just and have that special bond with your siblings, and then of course your parents. Just what have they meant to you along this academic and athletic journey here, especially in the game of
They've
football here?
they've meant a lot to me because since my mom's personal trainer, she knows like how to train me, build my body up, and get stronger.
Hmm.
And since my dad's an attorney, he's very smart, helps me like see stuff, maybe I won't notice. And just having that bond with my siblings just, helps me.
That's great. That's great to hear. It's nice. I mean, just the fact that you can share, said these, like moments with them. Hey, you've been playing football for a while here. I had to ask you, just in terms of maybe it's on and or off the field, what are some of the intangibles that stand out about this game that, you obviously have that drive and passion. What is it about the game that, you come back, year after year and, you want to play it and continue, said, I'm sure into high school and then college. Talk about that, Ryder.
Um, I just play it, because it's
That's okay. Yeah, is it? I'm sure that there's something. Is it just about the competition? It's about having that bond with your teammates and coaches, and just I'm sure that that's again having that chemistry with them. I'm sure that again that's something that you really uh said dedicate and just it said that that's something that stands out to you. I'm just would you agree with that assessment?
yeah, I
Okay.
would.
Okay. Sounds good. Okay. Hey, let's go to social media, because you definitely have been able to concentrate on that heavily and tap into it, because that's important to get your name out there. Highlight videos, uh, Twitter, Instagram. Uh, be able to said showcase your talents on the field. That's really again something that you harp on. Talk about that, Ryder.
Well, the more content I put out, the more chances there are for, any type of football coach to see my true
Hmm.
talent.
That's great. That's great. Hey, I know that again. It's pressure packed. It's stressful, like in terms of both your studies and with playing football. But you need to de stress, kick back, and clear your mind. And I know some of your hobbies, of course, are first and foremost are football. I know you listen sneakerhead music and making highlight videos. So had to ask you, in those times, just the fact that you're able to focus on those enjoyable, said items. Just talk about how much that means to you, like just that something that you really can excel in, you can flourish here. Can you talk about that?
It means a lot to me because, I could be having a stressful day, a lot could be going wrong, but, I just put on some of my music, listen to it for a little bit, like
Mhm.
I completely forget about the bad day I had and,
Yeah,
today was another good day.
yeah.
And, is like they just help me to like relax, and a lot of other stuff.
Yeah, that's outstanding to hear. Okay, just in terms of, it popped into my head. I had to ask you about this. When you getting prepared to play a game, I always ask, from a player's perspective, just warming up, just getting yourself locked in for the task at hand, and then once you're out there on the football field, what is flowing through your mind? I mean, I'm wondering, like, because there's so much, the game, goes at such a rapid pace, whether, it just, I had to ask you, like, what is filtering through your mind per se? Um, when you're just out there, and whether it's on offense or defense.
Usually I just try to like blank my mind, limit my distractions, and I let my unconscious, instinct guide me throughout the game.
Yeah, that's tremendous to hear. Okay, I had to ask you, just in terms of whether it's college football, NFL, are there any particular players that you really try to sort of watch, said on a given Sundays or Saturday, and maybe take away some of their, their tendencies, their, just the way they approach the game or play it, and just, you try to maybe apply it to your game as well.
Well, my favorite receiver is CD Lamb. So
Okay.
every time I get to watch some of his games, I try and watch all of it and just pay attention to how he plays because every time I watch him play, I'm just amazed on how he's so open and the amazing catches he makes. And
Yeah.
on defensive side, I like to watch Jalen Ramsey, even though
Mhm.
like, a lot of people say he's like washed, I don't believe that by the way he plays. He
Mhm.
he like just stands out to me.
That's great. Hey, before you get the final word and message here, Ryder, I know you're in eighth grade, but you know how popular football is across this country, even the world, and a lot of younger kids playing it, starting at a young age, which you did as well. And I know a lot of kids are on social media, and will come across this interview, and I'm just wondering, what would you say to them? Because again, you've been through, the ups and downs, said the peaks and valleys. You've faced the challenges, and you've been able to, again, as I said, rise above that. You've been able to overcome that, and here you are, reaping, said, the benefits and the rewards now. So, what would any advice or message you would, give to younger kids and athletes out there? Because it is competitive, out there, and kids are trying to find out which sport they're good at, and if it's football, how can they move up that ladder? So I'm just wondering, is there something that you might be able to offer them, just in terms of trying to navigate, maybe these sometimes turbulent waters?
Yeah, I would say like just like don't ever doubt yourself. And if anyone like doubts you, like show them why they shouldn't doubt you. And always work your hardest. You need like your dedication to work all the time.
Sound advice, well said. I think that's gonna it's gonna go a long ways. I think a lot of people will heed that, those words. Hey, Ryder, I want to give you, the final word and message here, for family, friends, teammates, coaches, uh, St. Clair's, the St. Catholic school, the St. Clair Saints football team, and WCFL Ravens. I'm sure there are a lot of people that you want to, thank here, as said, and so I want to give you the floor here, Ryder.
I would like to thank all of my family because they've always been very supportive of me. I like to thank my coaches who believe in me because they really trusted me and got me to where I should be.
It's great. Hey, Ryder, it's been just an incredible honor and privilege being able to speak with you. The fact that, I said you did a great job just describing, your journey in the game of football. And I know that, I said you're definitely going to, I said, make a name at the next level, I said in high school and beyond. And, again, wishing you continued success. Again, here, I know that they're, especially with that Dream All American Bowl at AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas. So keep up the great job.
Thank you.